If I lost all my money today and had to start investing again in 2026, I would not do what most beginners are doing right now. In fact, I would avoid almost everything I did in my first year because some of those mistakes cost me years of growth. Today I am going to show you exactly how I would start investing from zero in 2026. No hype, no trending, and no gambling. Just a simple plan that actually builds wealth. If you are a beginner, this video can save you a lot of money. What I would not do again. Let me first tell you what I would never do again. When I first started, I did what most beginners do. I followed tips. I chased hot stocks. I checked prices every day. I thought if I am smart, I can beat the market. Big mistake. In my first year, I bought stocks without understanding the business. I sold good companies because of small crashes. I traded too much. And you know what happened. I was always busy, but my money was not growing. So if I started again in 2026, here is what I would completely avoid. I would not trade every day. I would not follow Telegram tips. I would not try to predict crashes. I would not look for quick profits. Because here is the truth. Fast money in the stock market usually becomes a fast loss. My new 2026 mindset. If I started again in 2026, the first thing I would fix is not my strategy, it's my mindset. I would accept one hard truth. Investing is not about being smart, it's about being patient. I would stop asking which stock will double and start asking how can I build wealth slowly and safely. Because the stock market is not a casino, it's a wealth building machine for people who respect time. Start with this simple plan. If I was a complete beginner in 2026, this is exactly how I would start. Very simple. First, I would not pick individual stocks immediately. Instead, I would start with index funds or ETFs. Why? Because most beginners lose money in stocks, but the index over time almost always goes up. It gives you diversification, safety, peace of mind. So, my first rule in 2026 before trying to beat the market, first learn to match the market. I would invest every month automatically without caring about market ups and downs. This one habit alone can make you rich in 10 to 20 years. I would build this before stock picking. Second thing I would do in 2026 before buying any stock, I would build two things. An emergency fund, at least 6 months of expenses. Why? Because when market crash and you suddenly need money, you are forced to sell at the worst time. Most people don't lose money in crashes. They lose money because they had no back. Basic financial knowledge. I would learn how compound interest works, how risk works, how emotions destroy returns. Because the market is easy, controlling yourself is the hard part. Step 3. How I would pick my first stocks. Only after this I would start picking individual stocks and my rules would be very strict. In 2026, I would only buy simple businesses I understand, profitable companies I am happy to hold for 5 to 10 years. I would avoid penny stocks, turnaround stories, next multi-bagger hype, and I would follow one golden rule. If I am not comfortable holding this stock for 10 years, I should not buy it for 10 minutes. How I would invest during crashes. Now here is the most important part if I started again 2026. I would pray for market crashes because crashes are not dangerous. They are discounts. The biggest money is the stock market is not made in bull markets. It is made by people who are brave when everyone else is scared. So my rule would be simple. When the market crashes, I would not panic. I would not sell. I would slowly buy more because history shows every crash eventually becomes a new high. And the final advice to the beginners if you are starting your investing journey in 2026, let me give you the most honest advice. You don't need perfect timing, secret strategies, insider tips. You only need three things: consistency, patience, and discipline. Because in the long run, the stock market does not reward the fastest people, the smartest people. It rewards the people who never quit. If I had to start investing again in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. If this video helped you, like this video. Subscribe for honest investing lessons and comment below, are you a beginner or have you already started investing? Done.